genre.
Welcome back to another Rocky Minute, the minute-by-minute podcast where we analyze the movie Rocky 1 minute at a time. I am Doug Greenberg.
And I'm Jason Haynes.
And today we're knocking out minute 20, which starts with Rocky getting dressed down by Mickey and ends with Rocky getting a verbal bitch slap by Dipper.
Mickey, you've already gotten a talking to from Gazzo. Now you get one from Mickey. Then you get one from Dipper. Like, what? Come on.
This is goes down in the annals of bad days for Rocky.
Go ahead. So, all right. So, conversation with Mickey.
So he finishes his statement about Dipper needing Rocky's locker. He calls Dipper a contender, a climber, calls Rocky a tomato. Tells him he runs a business, not a soup kitchen.
Right.
So what is a tomato?
Well, I looked up an Urban Dictionary, tomato.
Okay.
Because we know a tomato's a tomato.
Fruit, vegetables, up for debate.
So I looked up, and there were a couple Urban Dictionary things about what a tomato is. The first one was that a tomato is what they call someone who is a homosexual but doesn't know it yet, because a tomato is a vegetable that's really a fruit. So fruit being a derogatory term for a homosexual, that is someone who other people will look at and be like, he's a homosexual, but he doesn't know it yet.
Right.
That would be a tomato. A tomato could also be, back in the day, it was like a hot woman, like, oh, she's a tomato. Also a term
before our time
for a curvy woman.
Okay.
The fourth one was a term used in the boxing industry.
Oh, look at that.
To describe a fighter whom is either past his prime or inexperienced and is used to fill his opponent's record.
Wow.
I'm going to say this is probably the one that Mickey meant. This is probably the one we should use in this instance, but
yeah, it fits. It certainly fits.
And now this is what we first see now, because we, like I said before, that there's some strained relationship between Mickey and Rocky. Like I said, we know what it is. Now, everything we've seen up to this point, now we kind of get, like, we've seen the fighting, but now we get our first glimpse at what's really, really going on here. Mm-hmm. That Mickey thinks that Rocky is not getting the most out of his boxing career. And that's probably what is causing this strain on this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we find out in a minute, too. Mickey kind of elaborates a little bit more. But yeah, like, he sees the potential in Rocky, but he's never cared enough to live up to that. Right. Never tried hard enough.
And I'm pretty sure that you start off with the putting your things on Skid Row and now calling him a tomato. Those are probably two of the worst things that you can... Yeah, in the boxing world,
based on that definition, that's a pretty low insult.
Right. So taking his stuff away, and now this is. Ugh.
So he asks Rocky about last night's fight. Rocky tells me he won, KO in the second. We finally get proof that fight lasted only 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. Mickey asks who he fought. Rocky says Spider Rico. The way Mickey laughs, he goes, "He's a bum."
But the way Rocky says it, though, is he doesn't say it with like he says it like he knows Spider Rico is a tomato. I would probably guess the way Rocky says it, like he pauses for a second, like he doesn't want to say it, and then he's like Spider Rico, like he says it kind of like he knows what Mickey's reaction is going to be. Yeah. He doesn't want to say it at first, but then he says it knowing the reaction he's going to get out of Mickey.
He tells Mickey, "You think everybody I fight is a bum?" And Mickey says, "Well, ain't they?" Again, we're getting like another. We had it with Gazzo, the father-son kind of relationship, and we're getting it here. It's like Rocky believes in his heart that he fought a good fight last night,
right? And we know because he's telling everyone that he comes in contact with they should have seen him.
And it's like he's the son who can never do enough to impress his father,
right?
Because you think everybody I fight is a bum, and Mickey pretty much confirms that. He tells Rocky that he has heart, but he fights like a goddamn ape. I don't get the ape comment. Maybe it's just because he's a big hulking.
I took it as like he doesn't have any. He doesn't fight with any finesse, any like
technicalities.
Any
you want me to feed you anymore?
No precision. There's no like technique there. It's just out there throwing hands, just throwing haymakers, swinging, and obviously he's got power. and that's it. But he has no, like, he does, like, if Rock, like, I feel like he's saying that if you got heart, if you took that heart and you concentrated on your training and you worked hard and you didn't fight tomatoes and you concentrated and focused into learning how to box and paid attention to what Mickey said, you would be great.
Instead of smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and stuff, right?
Right.
Says the only thing special about Rocky is he never got his nose busted. Foreshadowing.
Well, slow down.
So Stallone in the commentary, he kind of describes Mickey as a guy who never got to realize his dreams. So he's not about to cut anybody any slack.
Right.
So he's hard on Rocky, but Mickey feels like that's what he needs.
But that's a very father-son kind of relationship, because if you as a father, if you lived your life a certain way and you missed out on opportunities, like I was a great saxophone player back in the day. So if like my son took up saxophone and then wasn't putting all his heart into it, I would be angry. I would say, like, listen, I went down this road. I lost my talent. I'm not a famous saxophone player today.
Shocker.
You could be, but you're not practicing and focusing, and so that's kind of, I could see that. Mickey has that father figure role over Rocky, and he's upset because he feels Rocky could be so much better than he is, and he's not putting any effort into what he's doing.
Like, that's for my children. I want my children to be better than me, and I'm sure Mickey, who we find out like really does care about Rocky, he wants him to do well. He has the tools, he has the talent, he just doesn't have hasn't realized his skills.
And you figure, Rocky makes the comments, he had the locker for 6 years, whatever. That's a long time to not give up on somebody. Like, Mickey hasn't, 6 years it took him to put his stuff on Skid Row. Like, you figure if you were a boxing trainer and this was just any old guy, like not somebody who cared about this much or whatever, just a run-of-the-mill guy, after like a year or two of seeing this, you'd be like, forget this guy, I'm not wasting my time or get rid of him. But Rocky's still around, Mickey's still working with him. There has to be a reason for that, because like everybody else, like Gazzo, the people, everybody likes Rocky.
You also got to figure, most fighters start when they're kids, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess.
So Rocky's 30. Mickey's probably been in Rocky's life for 15 years or so, at least.
Well, if you read the script, you would know, and you were exactly right. Did you read that?
What, this exchange?
In the script.
This exchange right here?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's when he's leaving the gym, when Rocky's walking out.
Well, we'll
get there in a second.
Yeah,
keep going,
because it is a little bit different the way Rocky approaches Mickey. All right, so Rocky wants to go take a steam because he did real good last night, and you should have seen me. There's this catchphrase again.
But this is also what I said when he keeps telling people you should have seen me. He's better than he thinks he's better off than he is, because he says, like, I'm going to go take a steam because I did real good last night. It's kind of like he feels like everybody should be getting more attention than he's getting, because he feels like he's better than he is. He doesn't see it yet, and that's the other thing is when you have the talent and when you have the heart, you have the talent, but you're not putting the work in and you're not getting results, you don't see that right away. You're the only one that doesn't. Usually everyone around you could see, like, man, this guy's got a lot of talent, or he's got a lot of talent and no heart, or a lot of heart, no like talent, not working hard. You're the last one to see that.
Yeah.
You're always the last one. Always other people see it. So he doesn't see it yet. Rocky doesn't realize what's happening yet.
And if not for a stroke of luck, he may never have. Who knows?
Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Tune in. Keep listening.
So he tells Dipper he should have seen him too.
He's just throwing at everybody.
I know. We should have took a running tally of it. There's got to be like 6 by now. So he starts walking away, and Mickey says to him, "You ever think about retiring?" And Rocky says no, but that's the line that Burgess Meredith ad-libbed in the audition that got him the part. They liked it so much they put it in the script.
This is a great line.
And Dipper yells to Rocky, "I dig your locker, man." just beating his man when he's down.
But Dipper says it like, there's no need for this, Dipper. Like, this guy's having a rough day. You took his locker, and then Dipper's just like the bodyguard with the with his comments. Just, you didn't have to say this to the guy. Like, just kicking a man when he's down, pouring salt on the wounds, anything else. But to throw in the "I dig your locker, man," come on.
But it's funny, and I wouldn't have known this unless I had the closed captions on. But as Rocky's walking away, Mickey kind of chuckles and he repeats,
"Yeah,
dig your locker." But there was so Dipper is obviously an asshole, and
I don't know about that.
well, there's a little bit of a payoff that was, I don't know if it was filmed or if it was written in, but there was a scene later on after the fight is announced between Rocky and Apollo, where Rocky's training and Apollo comes to the gym with a camera crew to kind of get in Rocky's head, and Dipper sees an opportunity to make Rocky look bad, and he punches Rocky. And Rocky's on the ground. He tells Rocky to kiss his feet, kind of just humiliating him. Rocky gets up and lays Dipper out. And Apollo, at that moment, realizes he picked the wrong, like, obscure fighter to mess with. So that would have been nice to pay off, Dipper's big mouth.
Well, this is where, in the script, where when Rocky's walking away, Mickey says to somebody under his breath, he says, I've known him since he was 15, waste of life.
Oh, shit. There you go.
So... You were exactly right on the 15 years.
Oh, wow.
But
that was a shot in the dark.
This is kind of... They took it out, but that kind of sums up exactly what's happening here. Mm-hmm. Like, I've known him since 15, wasted life. Like, Rocky had opportunity. He had a lot of potential. He has the heart, obviously, we know. But the problem is he never dedicated himself. He never focused and worked hard. And that's the problem here. Mm-hmm. We're just realizing now. Maybe they took it out because they want you to learn that on your own. Because if you said that in the movie, you know right away, like, oh, that's what's happening here. But maybe they wanted through development you to realize that.
Yeah,
on their own.
You get that without them kind of shoving it down your throat.
So it's a good thing to take the line out. But you kind of also get, you could see it on your own just from the 6 years comment. You're like, if Mickey's known him for 15 years, he's probably been fighting for that long, and here he is on a Tuesday night knocking out Spider Rico, like, big deal.
Right.
So you kind of see, like, man, this guy hasn't done anything.
In the script, Mickey is sitting on a stool near the entrance to the gym. He wears a baggy suit. He's in his late 70s. Rocky approaches. Mickey is conversing with another fighter. I don't care what nobody says. This bum Creed never would have made it in the 30s. And Rocky goes on with the how you feeling, how you feeling. So Rocky is interrupting Mickey's conversation with another guy. So Mickey kind of just yells at him for interrupting. So then Mickey tells him, then stand there and wait till I'm done. And I guess he goes back to the other guy. Creed's good, yeah. He's real fine, but I got a boy, Big Dipper, who's got the stuff it takes to be champ. He's mean, quick, and big. What more do you need? Okay, go to work. So then he asks Rocky, what do you want? So again, there's this, they're telling you about Apollo Creed before we ever meet Apollo Creed. Yeah, and then he goes into the locker thing, the tomato. Rocky says oh yeah, how old are you? 25. Mickey says more like 30. 25, 30, what's the difference? It took me 2 months to learn the difference. It took me 2 months to learn the combination of that locker. Yeah, pretty much plays out the same.
Yeah.
The nose breaking part, is that it? Dipper smiles cruelly. Scene fades on Rocky's crestfallen expression.
Poor Rocky.
I know, poor Rocky. Next week we go back to the pet shop.
I can't wait.
Where
is Gloria still going to be there?
Flying candy and everything.
Yeesh. What about Dipper, Stan Shaw? Did you look him up at all?
Very little. So no. I don't have any info on him.
He started his acting career in the Chicago production of the Broadway musical Hair. So he was he started out as he's the son of Bertha Shaw and saxophonist Eddie Shaw.
Whoa, look at that.
I didn't see that. Look at that.
You guys are kindred spirits, you and Stan Shaw.
But he started his career as a music, like in musicals or whatever. But before becoming an actor, Shaw was a karate, judo, and jiu-jitsu instructor in Chicago. He holds a first Dan black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu and a second Dan in karate. So Dipper is a badass.
No kidding. Guy can fight.
Yeah, that's legit.
Was he in anything noteworthy?
Not really. Roots.
Okay. That was the TV series.
Did they make a miniseries? No, it was a miniseries. Roots: The Next Generations. He was in Fried Green Tomatoes. Rising Sun. Snake Eyes. Wasn't that with Nicolas Cage?
Oh yeah.
Jeepers Creepers 3.
Okay.
So really, I'm not gonna say anything bad about him in case he's listening.
He knows jiu-jitsu.
He knows a lot of things, so I'm just gonna. Nice career. I like it.
All right.
Great Dipper. I'm sorry about how I said he didn't need to throw that jab in at Rocky at the end with "I dig your locker."
And I think I called him an asshole, and I'm sorry for that.
That was Doug that said that?
I was referring to Dipper, not Stan Shaw. Mr. Shaw.
Sorry. Apologies. All right, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. So come join us next week, where hopefully we'll have a guest. In the meantime, you can visit us at our Facebook listeners page called Mighty Mix. The podcast page is Rocky Minute. You can find us on Twitter at Rocky Minute and on doinggenre.com. So go check it out. There's a lot of good stuff to listen to over there. They got a Doctor Who podcast for any of you Doctor Who fans out there.
I never got into Doctor Who.
Yeah, but apparently it's...
Has quite the following, though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and it's been on TV for like 50 years.
Really?
Something like that.
Okay.
I'm sorry for Doctor Who fans, and Scott Corelli, if you're listening, please forgive our ignorance. All right, and join us next week. Thanks for stopping by, and next week we'll be covering minutes 21 through 25. We're moving right along, huh?
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's going well here. You guys think so?
Enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday, everybody. And we'll talk to you next week on the next Rocky Minute.